Jim, while we're getting started, will I be able to share?
Yep, I believe so, and I can double check on that as well. But you are all set.
Yes, I can see that. Thanks.
Okay. My name is Terry Underwood, and we are starting the Northborough Cultural Council meeting today on Thursday, October 7th. And it's necessary to read the message regarding remote meetings. This open meeting of the Northborough Cultural Council is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the Corona-19 virus. And in order to mitigate the transmission of the Corona-19 virus, the town of Northborough has been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public meetings. And as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. All members of the Northborough Cultural Council are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order allows Northborough Cultural Council to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless the chair notes otherwise. And so with that, I need to take attendance. And so we have Craig and Suzanne Cox.
Here.
Here.
And Janine Vital.
Yep, Vitali.
Okay. And myself. So 2 people absent. That would be Lori and Vic this evening. Okay. So with that, I am going to proceed to the first item, and that would be the meeting, the minutes, approval of the minutes from September 9th. So do I have a motion?
Terry, it's moot. I don't think we don't have enough people to approve.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Let's
I don't.
Not a
we have
quorum.
4 of 6. Is that a quorum or not?
Normally 5 is, but
5 of 7.
5.
Julianne, do you happen to know, is it a different number to approve minutes than it is for a voting quorum?
We used to have 7 members, and thus it was 5.
Sorry
but
to
now
put you
that
on the
we have
spot.
6 members.
It's still 5.
I think it's 5.
Even if-
5.
Correct.
I think Julianne is frozen. Oh, no. Okay.
She's frozen thinking about the answer.
I'm
Oh,
trying to put you on the spot.
got
Wait,
it.
so your total membership now is 7?
It's 6.
It's 6. So 4 is a quorum,
Oh,
right?
Is it?
I thought it was 5, but I'm
It was 5 of 7.
So
But
like,
that
for
was with
example, Board of Selectmen, 3 is a quorum.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Then
pretty sure on that. The only thing is, were all of you at the September 9th meeting?
Yes, I think so.
yes.
Oh, I don't know what Suzanne was there. Were you at the meeting in September, Suzanne?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Craig, do you have more up to date, like better information than I have?
The Massachusetts Cultural Council has a 20-page guidelines, instructions for local councils.
Uh-huh.
I apologize for not having the whole document memorized. I remember some section where if you are an extreme, you can get authorization to dip below your regular voting threshold. And I thought that was 5, but I don't know.
It was 5 and we had 7 members.
So Terry, I don't know if you want to provisionally vote or if we just want to hold off until the next meeting.
I know when there's an extreme, because I can't think of the verbiage. Yes, you can. So we're not extreme. I know it was 5, but since we have fewer members, we could vote, and so this is my thought. Julianne, you can, or anybody else, feel free to jump in if they have other thoughts. To keep the meeting moving, we vote, and then if we discover that, oh no, we need 5, then we can always revisit. Is that okay? Julianne, does that sound
Yeah, that sounds very reasonable.
okay?
Okay.
So in my head, the number is stuck on 5, but that's when we had 7 people. So, okay, so with that in mind, does anybody want to make a motion on the September 9th minutes?
I make a motion that we approve the minutes as shared by our secretary for September 9th.
I second the motion.
Okay. I am also secretary this evening, so if the meeting runs slow, it's me. Okay, and so I need a show of hands. I need a verbal, I believe, for approval. So all those in favor? The Cox family.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and Janine?
Yep.
Okay.
Maybe I should.
The next item is our treasurer's report. And so I think it is up to Craig to share that information with us now. I will
Great.
turn it over.
And then Terry, help me remember, there's a different financial discussion later in the agenda. What comes later? So I don't cover it twice.
Grant applications, other business before the board,
Okay, thank you.
public art, next meeting date.
Okay.
So I think you've got the floor here.
So what I'd like to do is give you an update. Since we last met, we've paid $2,800 in prior grants. So 1 or 2 were carryover from 2020 coming out of COVID, and the rest were from the 2021 grant cycle. So it was $2,800. I haven't received any new submissions for grant payments in the last several weeks. That's fine. Additionally, I deposited $207 cash into our fundraising account in the town, which was the net proceeds from Applefest. So the stickers that we sold, and Janine thanks the lovely calendars, we netted out 207, which is also in our fundraising account. So that's a financial update on where we stand. And now what I'd like to do is share my screen and shift the conversation to our annual requirement to allocate the 2022 allocation from the state. So for the record, we as MNCC are required by October 15th to formally submit to the state our financial report saying, of our grant allocation that we get to manage, here's our financial breakdown, and here is what we as NCC are voting and agreeing upon to do with that money. So I'd like to take you through what is actually on the state website. It's public record. So it very succinctly allows us to go through the discussion points, at which point I would request that we do vote on it so that I can make the October deadline. If anybody could tell me if you're able to see the screen that I'm sharing.
Yep.
So I'm going to move through fairly expeditiously here. I don't think there's anything new that we haven't reviewed as a council before. Box A is, as of this summer, the end of the fiscal years. Our town accountant, Jason Little, has reported to the state on our behalf that as of June 30th, we had $11,300. Then it comes to me as treasurer to complete the rest of this report. So from June until the end of September, there have been additional expenditures of $3,081.72. So a lot of that includes what I just told you for grants that we've paid and the like. So the next conceptual piece of this is that from what we had in the accounts over the summer, less what's already been paid, there are, as the town calls them, encumbered funds. This reflects the remainder of the 2021 grant cycle. These are grants that we awarded, and they're probably in various states of the actual activity being done. It's just we have not received the paperwork to process that grant yet, and therefore we hold that money back, $5,461 as encumbered, so that it remains there and we can pay the 2021 grants. I will point out that within that number is also the NCC program for 2021 for $975 we're holding out for our program. In the format, we also update then since the summer, has there been local revenue? And it's always wonderful to have the opportunity to thank the town of Northborough for the $500 that each year the town contributes to its local cultural council that we use for our mission. So that $500 is there. Then with addition, which is pretty straightforward, the puts and the takes brings us to an updated total of $3,257. That's what we more or less begin the grant cycle with. And as the big banner says, voting meeting decisions, this is why we are formally reviewing this now as a council to agree upon the decisions. We are electing, and I have shared information with the council that we are going to hold back $2,394.84. That is made up of the fundraising that we as a council have done on our own volition. We have over $1,000 that we've raised. We're going to hold that back for our programming. And in addition, it is the town's contribution that is in the town's account. As I said before, what they give to us each year very kindly. So I have filled out, we are going to hold that amount back. The next point is administrative funds. The state allows us 5% of what they give us each fiscal year to be used towards administrative purposes. So I have calculated 5% of their allotment to us is $355. We've discussed this before. We were delighted to receive $7,100 for fiscal year 22 for grants from the state. That is our large number. And so if you simply do the math again, in the second half for 2022, what that leaves us is $7,608 is what we will be putting into the grant cycle for fiscal year 22 with those considerations and those decisions above. So I know I've said a lot, but hopefully these are terms and ideas that you guys are familiar with. And so Terry, that's an overview of the what we're required to vote on for the 15th, and I would request that we do vote on this, and if there aren't any questions, I can make a motion.
Does anybody have any questions of Craig as he has presented the information? It's this, what we're looking at is for anybody in the audience, it's the Mass Cultural Council's website where all of the councils have to enter all of their information, and it's standard, and everybody has to enter this same information. And I'm not sure if anybody else has questions. And
No.
Suzanne or Janine?
No.
Looks good.
Okay, so I guess at this point, I would just say,
So I'll make a motion
we
then.
need a motion.
I make a motion that we vote to approve the budget that I just outlined, leading to $7,608 for granting for the fiscal year 2022 cycle.
I second that motion.
Okay, say the amount again, please? I'm not as fast as I would like to be.
$7,608.
$7,608 for, to be used for,
The fiscal year 2022 grant cycle.
and just to recap, that allows us the admin money to still be used for whatever we need, stamps, whatever.
In our
Okay.
program, yes.
Okay, so the motion. First. And sorry, second by, who second? Suzanne. And now we need to vote. So this is an important meeting for the Cultural Council in that we are voting on all the funds that we have available to us. So I'm going to need, I would like to have a show of hands and to do a roll call, please. So I guess I'll start in the top box I'm looking at is Craig and Suzanne.
Yay.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and Janine,
Yes.
and I'm yes as well. So we are unanimous. Boy, let me just say, Bic does a great job in taking down all the
Running a
minutes.
meeting and taking minutes and everything else.
Yeah, it's all right. You do what you got to do. So this is great. All right, the next meeting date, I'm suggesting that we have an in-person meeting at the library next week, if at all possible. I don't know the hours of the library, and maybe we need to connect on that. I would like to try and have something, you know, and I say in the library because the town hall is not doing any meetings in person, from my understanding. I would like to have one meeting. The library has rules, but if we follow the rules, masks and so forth, I don't know what's going to happen with COVID. Things are going to be more locked down. It would be nice to see and open it up if anybody comes, but if we can do that. So do people have availability, say next? Oh,
Next
goodness.
Thursday is open. The 14th.
Okay.
Again, I don't know what the library hours are. You want me to look at those real quick?
Oh, yes, please.
I want to find a place because they're available. Agree on a date and try to find the best place possible.
Okay, if we can do next Thursday, that would be ideal.
That's good for me.
Okay.
Thursday.
So, you know, until we find out what the hours are and if they have availability, then, you know, we'll go forward from there. So that's what I propose. 6:30, good for everybody still?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that's what we will do. Okay. Okay, what, can somebody tell me the date, please?
14th.
14th, okay. 6:30. Library, okay, that's what I'm gonna put. Okay. Suzanne, are you ready to talk anything about art at this point? Public art?
Sure. Couple things. I sent out an email about the meeting, scheduling the meeting. My computer has not functioning, so I'm gonna have to go off my memory. What we'd like to do is to solidify the plan to have a small project a medium project, and then a large, and create the 5-year plan to make those things happen. We'd like to get something off the ground very quickly in the small, mainly for public viewing, and to start introducing the concept of art to the Northborough with the small projects. So we have allocations for this current fiscal year that we'd like to utilize. The brainstorming is to pick from several that I've put forward in the past to see which ones people like, but to go ahead and through that meeting to finalize a 5-year plan, as well as to create the action plan for the small project moving off the ground. I had proposed that it be members of this particular council, a subset, and that subset could equal the full set, but a subset of the council who are interested in it, plus former members who are interested in it to be on this subcommittee, as well as any people in town that we select, that we reach out to, that we know have a interest in it. That can indeed be from the volunteer list or anybody we know personally. Julianne, of course, you're on there in interest, but anybody else that we know have an interest. It has to be a manageable group, hence the people's interest plus a selection. So I've set up the meeting times at the library for the 19th and the 26th. I sent those out. Again, this is to create a 5-year plan for it, but to have phase 1 of the immediate project selected and worked through by the end of the meeting. I think we've all seen a lot of examples that have been presented in the past. It's mainly choosing which one everybody thinks is the best first step to introduce the concept at a small level, and that can be executed within the time frame of this grant session, but also lay out what we want to do for the medium and large scale plans or efforts. So any questions on that?
I haven't, because I'm new to the committee, I have, to the council rather, I haven't heard of anything in the past that was proposed in the past as possibilities.
If this is something that, and don't answer, don't feel like you have to answer now, think about it, but in past meetings, I've presented what the order of magnitude from small to medium to large, what they look like that other towns in Massachusetts have done, other cultural councils, as well as other projects, other corporations or nonprofits has been done around the country, and just quickly gave examples of what's going on in this space. Just to say we can do what other people are doing, we can do variations of them, we can, but just to iron out a small, a 5-year plan with a small, a medium, and a large project, but then also come out with deliverables for an action plan for the small, to get that done in the short term as our first way to brand ourselves to the town, to let the downtown know that we're in this space, that we're going forward. We put together this plan that I imagine the 5-year plan would be a straw horse at the end of the meeting, but we have this straw horse for 5 years, so the first phase would be solid. But that first phase would be a way to get the notice and generate interest, to be honest with you, with the town. So if you choose to be on that, wonderful, and then I'll go through it all again. I'll hold the, and even offline, I can go through what we've gone through in the past. That's not a problem.
Yeah, that would be great. I'd be interested to hear what's happened in the past or what other councils have done. Yeah.
Thank you. That's all I have. If there are any other questions, I will send you the email, Julianne, as well as I would ask everybody whether or not you wish to participate in the subcommittee or not, that if you know people that would be a good creative type who are in the arts, the visual arts, not the performing arts or the music arts. I know we have a lot of representation from the different groups here, but if you know people in the visual arts, please let me know and I will send out and reach out to them.
Suzanne, can you just tell me the dates again?
I have I'm sitting here in front of Craig's because my computer died. So I sent it in the email. It's in the email. I apologize.
Oh,
Really,
okay, I'll look it up.
It was
And I-
October 19th and 26th is what you said, next Tuesday and, rather, yeah, 2 Tuesdays from now.
Thank you. I
Thank
apologize.
you.
And I outlined the deliverables for the session as well. It has been brought to my attention that maybe we need to do something sooner, so I may revisit the dates and try to do something next week as well. So stay tuned for that. Don't be surprised if I am able to make something happen.
Okay, and then, so my understanding is that with some of this input, if we can get enough people involved, that'll just push everything forward. So if anybody is out there and listening and interested, don't make me hunt everyone down on email.
It's not only participate and give your input, and then also, want to help make this a reality. So
Yes,
different-
something really nice. And like you said, the quick options that it can be done sooner or larger, long-term lasting. We want people to participate. So
I
and I know,
suggested chainsaw totem poles, but apparently I'm not invited to this subcommittee now.
And the small fast out program is really designed to introduce the concept to Northborough, and in doing so, generate interest in those who are passionate about it that maybe wouldn't know until they've seen it, for the medium and the large project. We've all brainstormed and talked about, ideas of what a large project is.
Yep.
But it's about stepping our way up to it.
yep, and actually start making the movement toward something happening. So
It's capital driven, to be honest with you. So
yes.
the more we can,
Yes, and just for anybody out there, because it was kind of a sticker shock to me that some projects can be 10, 15, 20,000, and there's different levels of artists with skills, and a lot out there. So there's a lot to consider, but it would be nice to have some more input. And I thank Julianne for being part of our group and helping to get the word out for those of you who may be joining us. I take for granted that people just know, but Julianne is a part of, she's our liaison from the board of select board. And so, she really helps to give us some visibility as well. We had a table at the Apple Fest, but and we did reach a lot of people there, but we need to keep going. So, okay, I will stop. The next item is review community check-in from the MCC. So that is the Mass Cultural Council. So I attended something online, and it was a discussion from the local cultural councils from around the state. And it was the MCC, the Mass Cultural Council, who was giving this. And they talked about primarily, I'm just going to skim through this, but the American Rescue Plan. There's quite a bit of money that has come in. When I say quite a bit of money, there's 385 million with an M for a total of 313 towns. And it's a lot of money. So they described this as game changing and once in a lifetime. And the Northborough Cultural Councils in general come under the title of public health, that has the arts, has there been a negative economic impact? Well, as was explained by the MCC, yes. So the arts are considered part of our well-being. And so we actually do. We are able to apply for some of those grants. So will we be successful? What is the timeline? That's all really a gray area for timeline. There are a lot of other groups that would be applying for that aid from our local level as well. So they gave the people who attended a list of things that we could do on the local level to help make things move along. They talked about checking in with our elected officials. Where is our town in that process with acquiring the money from the state? So that is a process. The money has come in, but it could be a while before that money comes in. And I don't have a good sense of what that timeline looks like or what we need to do in that timeline. So it's something that I need to look into more. Let's see. They talked about a strategy in terms of how to get the attention of our local officials, that the Cultural Council would be a good place to give support to and to receive some of this money. They talked about building a coalition. So talking to local leaders, talking to local business owners, talking to and building up a just knowledge, awareness, and asking people to say something. So when we talk about local art, when we talk about like the town common, maybe it's a statue, maybe it's something that you go and do and see. I don't know. So in my mind, this ties into what Suzanne was talking about with public art. What can we do? So that may be part of consideration of everything. I don't think we should put our eggs all in that basket because it's such a gray area right now. Let's see. So
if we came up with a really, really wonderful plan for something that we wanted, then we have to convince our town officials to apply for the grant to fund whatever it is that we could. No, that's she's shaking her head. Suzanne shaking her head. No. Okay, you're muted. Okay. What?
Was there anything more, Suzanne?
No, there are also programs that we as individuals can also apply for. So you can have multiple grants going towards one project. As many of our recipients get grants from 8 different towns that surround them. So some of those are that I can apply for and am now that they're open, and then some the town can apply for. Someone at the town, like maybe our selectman representative, who can apply for from the town's perspective for us. So there is money out there. It just opened, so hopefully the deadlines are soon. They open and close pretty quickly. That's
the good news.
Very good
is
news.
Massachusetts it seems to be extremely fortunate. There are multiple buckets, and I think it's our responsibility to see what those buckets are and then to apply appropriate groups
to apply for them for a particular project. So I wholeheartedly intend to apply for it, and then I'd like the town. I can figure out what the town one is.
So this will be an ongoing conversation, and we don't have all the information, but at first glance, this is really good news. And you look at a town, the different meetings that I've attended, covered, they talk about the health of a town, and the health of a town can include walking paths, accessibility to public transportation, the arts. Do you have sidewalks? Do you have like all of our memorials, all the war memorials, and the numbers of people who attend things like Apple Fest, the Veterans Day events or Memorial Day events, all the things that you see going on around us, those are indicators of the health of a town. So where that becomes important is when employers are looking at where to drop anchor, where people are looking to raise their families. These are all really important factors. And so if we can show, or as a cultural council, that we are healthy and that the arts are alive and thriving in Northborough. I like to say that that's part of the health indicators for our town. So I really, I'm trying to hold it back. I'm very excited about this
Sure.
possibility of money. And we have a really good team of people here who are very knowledgeable in a variety of areas. And we just need to communicate and find out what we need to do and get people interested. And we could have something really fantastic where people want to come see. And health of a town, oh my goodness. Tugis Apple Farm was rated something crazy, like in the top 10 or top 3. I sent it around and already fell out of my head. But as a place to go for an apple orchard in the country, it was crazy. Almost fell off my chair with that one. You don't think that somebody knows about this, but those are all indicators of a healthy community. And so it doesn't happen by accident, and it's something that can be looked over if we don't keep doing something like this. So I feel a lot of gratitude to Selvi and to the team that was before me, and most of you are still here. I feel a huge responsibility to keep this going and to keep my eyes open and maintain what we have, and to continue this, what we have going and what we have started. So it's more than just having concerts. We'll do what we need to do. During COVID, we had a virtual festival. We had people who would not have normally been visible and performing, but we had an hour-long show of art and dancing and music and reading and all kinds of things from the area. And those are all really great indicators and examples of what's going on. So I would invite the public to join us and have some fun. That's what this is about. If we're not having fun, forget it. I'm hanging up my hat. That's it. But so that was the gist of it. It was reaching out to the public, possible donors, companies in the area, and creating a network of advocates and voices of people and businesses and organizations. So there were, all of these groups, factions can be our allies as well, and possibly knock out, connect other things accidentally. I spoke. Okay, that's all I have for that. So if it's all right, I'd like to jump down into the next item, the Rotary Club. Unless somebody has something to say, because I feel like I've sucked the air out of the room.
Well, so I'm curious. So if we're trying to talk this subject up with other groups within the town, that could be businesses as well, right? If they had some wonderful idea that they were trying to put forward, they should keep in mind that there might be money for them to be able to push their idea forward, or if it was something that was going to benefit the town.
Possibly, they might
all
want to
right.
be involved. I mean,
All right.
It could be a local bakery, restaurant,
Uh-huh.
store, anything.
Okay.
What comes to mind is I think like the Northborough Moms group. There's, the senior center, whatever. There are other groups where people bought bricks and had their names put on them. I mean, that's a really simple one, but it's an idea. I don't know where this will go, but it could be something. So I don't want to ignore all of our opportunities here. It could be a really good thing. And I'll stop there because I'm the one doing the minutes.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to jump down to the Rotary Club now. So a Rotary Club member reached out to me and asked if anyone from the Cultural Council would like to speak at their meeting. So I had sent a message around, anyone who was available. I was available. It was at lunchtime, so I just jumped over to the senior center where their meeting was on this past Tuesday, and it was very nice. It was a luncheon. They were having Zoom issues. They got Zoom going, and then there were issues with trying to share my screen. But my intent was to show them what are we doing. We had the virtual Culture Fest, but their Wi-Fi, it turned out their internet was really slow. It was just slogging along. So I instead sent along the links and showed them what they're doing and talked about how I felt the Rotary, because I have ties to the Southborough Rotary Club as well, things that they're doing, try to connect them, and the importance of all of those businesses and making their word and mission known, because they do all kinds of things to do with raising money for scholarships. They so for high schoolers, to try and promote high schoolers to get into the business. There's connections of a network of people and school. But you know, maybe you didn't know how the Rotary's job is also to raise money to help vaccinate people around the world. So it's local business leaders, it's national, and it's global. So it was fascinating. And through my connections at Northborough Cable TV, I recommended that they jump on over to the studio or do something on Zoom and create small, like a catalog of different things that they're going on. And they are doing something called, I think it's Project 68, but it's the amount of time, the number of hours between Friday and Monday where students may not have food, that the families are food insecure. So my suggestion was to help remove some of the stigma and make people aware in the community that you can help, or if you need help, here's who you can contact, but make it exciting. Like we have the, for those of us who've spent a lot of years in scouting, there's the food drive that takes place at Thanksgiving, but that, or, you know, in that time frame, but that's just once a year. So there are a lot of really compassionate, caring people in our community. And so in relation to the Northborough Culture Council and the Rotary, this is a way that we can make connections. And if we can communicate and connect with the Rotary, let them know that what we're trying to do, here's a way, linking back to what the MCC was talking about, that we can make these connections and allies and communicate, and we can move a lot of questions in people's minds about what's going on, and again, create the allies so we can open up more connections that have been maybe dormant. So I guess that's, I had a lot of fun. They had fun too. We had questions going back and forth, and I was invited to join. I said, I have 2 jobs right now. I will be glad to come and speak and help where I can, but not able to join the Rotary Club at this time. And I guess with that, does
I think
anybody?
it sounds like it was a great opportunity to cross-pollinate and share, Terry.
It really, really was. I have not seen those people before, except because of my job where I walk around with a camera, and I did that at Apple Fest to the different tables. I saw a couple of people, but I did not know them. And they discovered us. The reason why we were asked to speak is because our table was a few tables down from them at the Apple Fest. So whoever had the brainchild to have a table at Apple Fest, hoo-yah.
I think that goes into our branding. Lori, who's heading up our branding program, I think it's a very important thing for us to keep going on, and we have some more ideas that are being fleshed out, not to talk about now, but we need to keep going on our branding, because for that exact reason. A lot of people don't know about us or what we do, so.
Exactly.
keep
We
that
need
brand
to
going.
show that we exist, so awareness. We need to show people our value. And that all relates back to the health of the community. The community, it's in the schools, it's in our businesses, it's within each other. And you know, this is these connections need to be
Good.
redrawn.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Good.
And so, okay,
Exciting
so
stuff.
yeah, it was really cool. You know,
Okay.
it's a kind of for some people it would be a difficult time. It was noontime. They meet, most Rotary clubs meet once a week, and Northborough Rotary Club is just that. It's a well-run group, and they were looking for ideas, and I was very happy to share and let them know what we're doing. So I anticipate that we'll be invited back again if anybody would like to come. They love it. It's a fun group. Grant applications. I guess I'm going to turn that over to Craig because I think you have more visibility on that than I did
Yeah, I'll
today.
just touch quickly on it. I checked the state website about an hour before this call, and I just looked. There are currently for 2022, there are 8 grants that are formally submitted, just totaling just under $10,000. There are 5 more grants that are drafts in progress, totaling under $1,000. So that's 13, I believe, on a typical year. The last 3 years that I've been a part of NCC, we usually get somewhere between 20 to 24 in terms of the total submissions. So the application deadline is also October 15th, so a little over a week away, and we'll see how we turn out.
Okay, and just to hitch my cart onto that thought, I was beating the bushes with emails to the PTOs, to the principals at all the schools, and just getting it out there. Just, you know, come on. The arts are alive and thriving in Northborough. We want to have fun. That's the point. We want to have a good time. There's money to be given out to groups to do something at the schools for performances. So it covers, to the community listening out there, arts, humanities, and sciences. That is our those are what our drivers are. And for anybody who wants to look online at the Mass Cultural, oh, help me out here. Is it Mass-Cultural? Oh my goodness. Okay, if you look up the
MassCulturalCouncil.org.
okay, so that little dash in there. Yeah, don't Matt. Yeah, what he said.
No dash.
No dash. Okay. So deadline for application for grants for this grant cycle, as Craig said, is October 15th. I really encourage you to, if you were hesitating last year, to get on it. You got a week, get moving. So, okay, is there any other business before the board? Let's see, Vic did have one thing. She wanted to know what the next steps are to engage the volunteers, but I'm going to go back to what Suzanne was talking about with the public art. And I think you were thinking about reaching out to the people that signed up through Apple Fest to try and engage them that way. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, pardon me. Okay, I don't have anything else unless anybody has something. So I'm putting it out there. Is there a motion?
I motion that we adjourn.
Mhm. She wants to finish her dinner.
Okay, so sorry. Vic, if you watch this, I'm doing the best I can. Okay, I need a second, please.
Oh, I'll second it.
Oh, right. Yes. All right. And I need to do a roll call vote. So I'll start with the top box, the Cox family.
Yes,
Yes.
Okay. And Janine.
Yes, yes.
Okay. And I see Lori's here.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay. Feel better, Lori. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
everyone. I'm very appreciative of you taking your time, and for the public that can join us, get your grants in.
Mhm.
Thank you so much, Julianne, for joining us. I hope you can share our passion and our drive and what we are trying to do, because it's for the community.
I will do my best because there's a lot of